Welcome to your math lesson for Tuesday, March 24th. Today we're doing equivalent ratios. So you're going to want to pause the video so that you can write all of these notes down before I move the board. So equivalent ratios. It's going to seem very familiar. It's going to be almost exactly the same as doing equivalent fractions. Equivalent ratios make the same comparison using different numbers. So exactly like when we're doing fractions, where they represented the same amount, but they used different numbers, this is the same thing. So 3 to 5 is equivalent to 30 to 50. The reason that they are equivalent is because they represent the same comparison. They're representing the comparison between the two numbers is the same. Now to find equivalent ratios, what you need to do is you just take your ratio and you multiply it by a number. It doesn't have to be a specific number, you don't have to use the same numbers that I'm using. You do have to multiply it by a number to make it different numbers but the same comparison. So 3 to 5, I chose 10, so I multiplied 3 and 5 together. I multiplied 3 and 10 together to get 30, and I multiplied 5 and 10 together to get 50. And then you've got 1 to 4. This one's written as words, and in your work today you're going to have to write the ratios the three ways we learned yesterday: as a ratio with the 2 dots, in words with the word to, and then as a fraction as well. You will have to do that. 9 over 4 is equivalent to 27 over 12. So again, with both of these examples, I just chose a number, multiplied both of the components of my ratio by the same number to get a new ratio. Don't forget that part, it's really important. So I chose 7. 1 times 7 is 7. 4 times 7 is 28. So I multiplied both the 1 and the 4 by the same number, the big important part about this, to get a new ratio. Same comparison, different numbers. And now we've got 9 over 4. So I chose 3. 9 times 3 is 27. 4 times 3 is 12. So these are all equivalent ratios. You can make lots of different equivalent ratios. So as an example, 3 to 5, I chose 10 to turn it to 30 to 50, but let's say I choose 5 instead. 3 times 5 is 15, and 5 times 5 is 25. So all these ratios are equivalent to each other. 3 to the 5 is the same as 30 to 50, which is the same as 15 to 25. They represent the same comparison. So in some of the work you'll have to do today, you'll have to make a number of different equivalent ratios. So you'll have to choose more than one number to multiply them by. I'm going to move the board now. Here we go, lowest terms. I'll put it there. Okay, so lowest terms, we talked about this yesterday, we've talked about it before when we were doing fractions. It's the same thing. Lowest terms are also equivalent ratios. Usually when you're doing lowest terms, you're dividing instead of multiplying. So in this case here, I had 16 to 2. I divided by 2 to get 8 to 1. And I know that it's lowest terms because 1 is a prime number. I cannot make it any smaller. 36 to 27, I was able to use my multiplication chart. You look down the numbers until you find the biggest number that they have in common. So if you look down, you know you can't use 2 because 27 is not an even number. You can use 3. So you could use 3 for both of these, but you want to try to find the biggest number. So you could use 3, but then you'd have to keep going. You can't use 4. 4 doesn't go into 27. You can't use 5. It doesn't go into either one. 6 goes into 36, but it doesn't go into 27. 7 doesn't go into either one of them. 8 does not go into either one of them. So now you're left with 9. If you look down your 9s on your multiplication chart, you'll see that 9 has 36 and 27 in its multiples. So 9 can be turned into 36 and 27 by multiplying by the right numbers. So what numbers? That's the important thing that you need to figure out using your multiplication chart. You look down your 9s till you get to 36, and then you look over to the side to find out what is the number that's going to be your lowest terms. So if you don't know 36 divided by 9 off the top of your head, that's okay. Use your multiplication chart. Look down your 9s till you get to 36, and then look to the side, and you'll see a 4. So that's how you know what to put and where to put it. 36 divided by 9 is 4. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So my lowest terms is 4 to 3. And I know once again that this is lowest terms because 3 is a prime number. And here we go on the last one. It's written as a fraction. So I've got 14 to 30, and I've turned it into 7 to 15. Because the only number that I can divide both of these by is 2. They're both even numbers. There's no other number, there's no larger number to make it any smaller. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So now I have 7 and 15, and I know again that this is lowest terms. I cannot make it any smaller because 7 is a prime number. If you have any questions about your math, just get in touch with me over Facebook, and I will happily help you with any of these math issues. All right, there'll be another video with examples for the worksheets that you're supposed to do today. Don't forget, you must do the must on all of the worksheets, not just the first one. All right, thanks very much. And again, if you need anything, get in touch and I will help.